And welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. My name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. We do appreciate big show coming your way. A little bit later, we'll hear from Tyreque Jones from San Gorgonio and Kaiser High School at Boise State. He will not enter the NFL draft this season. He's going back to Boise State for one more season to play another football season on the blue turf, the Smurf turf up there. We've also got Baltimore Orioles pitcher Tyler Wells from Yucaipa High School and Arlington soccer star Danny Hernandez still to come on this show. But we lead things off. We're going live to Linfield Christian High School to join the Lions boys basketball team. And we are going inside the Lions den, it looks like, because we got Coach Waheed Mitchell and all the guys, the entire crew. So Coach Mitchell, oh, look at that, panning over to see everybody. I don't know who's running the camera down there, but you guys got a pro, Coach, behind the camera.
There we go. That's Coach Eddie.
Well, Coach Mitchell, listen, congrats on the season so far. You guys are off to a great start, but I'm assuming coming off that great CIF Southern Section Championship season from a season ago that you guys have big expectations again. Is that all correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, every year, Pat, we have expectations to, just put our best foot forward and play hard and play together. Our motto is one team, one goal, one outcome. And every time we step out, we definitely want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, and we're trying to do just that.
You guys are running through Ambassador League play right now, and I know you played some great teams in non-league action, including a great game against Rancho Christian the other night. But what have you liked about this Lions squad so far this season?
Just their, just their grit. They're never giving up. They're always out there playing hard, playing for one another. And like you said, we played a bunch of tough teams this year, and each and every day they're coming out and, just trying to compete and playing for one another. And, when we walk in the gym, we definitely don't pass the eye test. However, when the ball goes up, it's something different. That's what I really like about this group, that they just come out and play hard every single night.
You know what? Sometimes the eye test will get you in trouble. I've done that plenty of times, walking out to a football field or a basketball gym, and it's like, okay, that team is clearly better. I'm just doing the eyeball test here. And sometimes that doesn't pan out, and it looks like you guys are kind of, defying maybe some preconceived notions or expectations that other people are putting on you, because you know what you have in your locker room. These guys are good.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they love each other and they play for each other. So I'm always gonna bet on them, because how they feel about one another and what they want to do together is special.
So, Coach, 18-4. I mean, you look at the overall record and you're thinking, man, so far so good, great season, and it is. But as a head coach, do you look at that and you're like, man, we could probably even be a little bit better. There's still areas that we can clean up. The best is still to come for this Lions team. Do you feel like this team is still getting ready to peak and it can get better before a playoff push here?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we definitely can get better, and we are. They're working on it each and every day at practice. We had a tough losses this last week. I mean, however, back to the drawing board, and these guys are just scratching the surface. We play a couple of young freshmen. This year they start for us. We're fairly young. We got some senior leadership. Our juniors is doing really well. And so I think there's more to come from us, and I'm excited about it and happy to see what they're doing.
Now, Coach, I know there's some good teams, good programs in the Ambassador League. Right now, you guys are undefeated. A big win against Aquinas last week. And Aquinas lost to Arrowhead Christian, so now there's the Ambassador League's getting real juicy right now. But you guys are the front runners. You're trying to win a league championship. You're coming off a CIF title. So with all that said, going into this year, what was the expectation for this program? Because I feel like the bar was set pretty high last year.
Yeah, it was. And that was a testament, to those, to our seniors last year. Great leadership on that team. And they set the bar high, not only on the court, but just being, leaders in the classroom, walking throughout the hallways and holding each other accountable. So, that was a great senior-led group last year. And, the guys that were on that team last year, now that's juniors, they're stepping up. And they're wanting to have that same kind of impact this year. And the expectations are set high. However, they're up for the challenge, and the blueprint was set for them, and they're just following it.
Well, Coach Mitchell, if it's not too much trouble, I'd like to catch up with my guy, Damian Ruiz. Hopefully he's in the film room right there with you guys. And Damian, there he is, coming off a school record, dropping 43 on Woodcrest Christian, hit 11 threes. I mean, that's like Steph Curry numbers right there from the outside. Damian, did you know in that game against the Royals, did you know you set a couple school records?
I know I set one record. I was only aware of how many threes made in a game. I know towards the end of the third quarter, some of my coaches were telling me how many I needed left. So, and then thankfully I had some of my teammates to set me up and give me the shots I needed. So
Damian, 11 threes in that game. When you're locked in, when you're in the zone like that, describe what it feels like.
It's just, when you're just locked in, you get that adrenaline, and any shot that you put up just feels good, I guess, in a way.
Well, Damian, looking back at last season and that championship season, how is this year's team maybe similar or different from last year's, division, 4A, championship? How was last year's squad maybe similar or different, to last year?
Compared to last year's squad, obviously we're a little different. We're a much younger group, but I still feel in similarity, we still have the same, like Coach Waheed said, we still got grit. And I think a lot of teams that we go up against take that for granted. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure. We just got that grit to us, I guess.
Do you feel like in some games that you go into, it's crazy because you're a CIF champion, but maybe some games you feel like you're an underdog still?
Yeah, of course. I think any tough match, we get put in tough matchups, and, we're seen as the underdog, and we take our opponents by surprise.
Well, you guys are having a great season. Let me go back to Coach Mitchell one more time before we wrap things up. And Coach, as you make this push for the Ambassador League title, as you make this push to peak going into the playoffs and compete for another CIF Southern Section Championship, what do you think it's going to take the next month or so to bring some more hardwood back to the Linfield Christian with some more hardware? What do you think it's going to take?
Take a lot of focus, a lot of hard work. We have a tough league. And coming down the stretch, we're at Ontario, we're at Arrowhead, we're at Aquinas, and it's going to take a lot of focus, a lot of commitment, and just just coming together to continue to do what we do. But like I said, and like the Ambassador League it's a tough league, and we're just we're up for the challenge. We have a lot of good coaches in our league and does a great job with their programs, and we're blessed to be in this league, and we just need to continue to do what we're doing. And, play together and let the chips fall where they fall.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time for you and the entire team to join us here on the Inland Sports Show. I know you guys are breaking down some film, getting ready for your next opponent. So thank you so much, and best of luck the rest of the way, Coach Mitchell.
Yep, thank you, and thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. That's the Linfield Christian Lions, the boys basketball team. Damian Ruiz, head coach Waheed Mitchell, join us here live on the show. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we're going to talk a little soccer with Arlington standout Danny Hernandez. That's next on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
Hey guys, it's Pep Fernandez from the #1 sports show in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. I wanted to let you know about the BASS School. That stands for the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. All of us are trying to find a way to get ahead in the classroom and in athletics. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wanting to give your son the best opportunity to succeed. BASS is an all-boys private middle school school servicing 7th and 8th grade student athletes. They've got unique, customized curriculum for student athletes, individualized nutrition and athletic development, plus rigorous academic development with small class sizes. This is not an online homeschool. This is a private school for students who are serious about their grades and serious about their sports. Bass School enrollment for the 2021-2022 school year begins in January, so don't wait. Lock up your spot today. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for more information.
And here we have Robinson driving up, gives it up to Shyheim Parham. Parham puts up a three. Bang! Shyheim Parham with the three. Turned over, given away to Shyheim Parham. Parham puts it up, gets fouled, and gets the shot to go. It's good.
Hey, that was my guy Ernesto Loera on the call on IEMG. His Cajon picked up a big win against Indian Springs in boys basketball at Toyota Arena in Ontario. You can check out the entire game right now on the IE Media Group YouTube channel. Big game for Shyheim Parham, 30 points for the Cajon Cowboys in that win. So we go from hoops now to soccer. Big match tomorrow between Arlington and Norte Vista. We're going to preview that match and also talk to a standout performer for the Arlington Lions. Joining us live on the Inland Sports Show right now, the great Danny Hernandez from A-Town. And Danny, listen, congrats on a great season so far. I know you're breaking some school records here. We'll get to that in just a moment. But you guys do have a big match against Norte Vista, against the Braves tomorrow. What are you guys doing well as a team right now that kind of gives you a little bit of confidence, some optimism going into a big match against the Novi Braves?
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely preparing mentally and on and off the field. You know, we know that we had quite a rough start to the season, but we know we can definitely turn it around, and tomorrow is one step closer to making it to playoffs.
So when you say, turning things around and getting better as the season, goes along, maybe improving before you guys get to the playoffs, what are some of those things that you feel like maybe as a team you weren't doing so quite as well early in the season that maybe you're doing it a lot better now?
Definitely doing everything as a team. I think you cannot do stuff by yourself, being, quite selfish. But as a team, anything's possible. We have a great group. Nonetheless, I think we can definitely make a huge turnaround. We have great talent, even though we're young. But we're looking forward to this game on Thursday, and we're hoping for a good result.
Danny, for a younger team, is it important to, go out there and get wins against a very good opponent like Norte Vista? Is it maybe important for a young team to maybe get a couple of those big wins under their belt? I know you beat Valley View in a tournament to win a tournament title, and those are some big wins. And for a young team, that probably, brings the team together, builds confidence, all those sorts of things. I mean, is that safe to say?
Yeah, it definitely brings confidence in us. I think tomorrow with a great opponent, if we get this win under our belt, I think we'll be running through a lot of teams, and it's definitely going to help us a lot.
All right, Danny, speaking of going through some teams here, I have your stats in front of me, but I don't think they're updated because I know you guys beat Ramona. Was it 8-0 yesterday?
Yesterday, no. We did beat Ramona last Thursday, and we played Rancho Verde the next day. So
you guys are scoring a lot of goals, and correct me if I'm wrong, 11 goals and 20 assists so far on the season. Is that correct?
It's 12 goals, 21 assists.
See, I knew I was off. I knew you probably had more than what I had written down. But those 21 assists now, it's a new school record. In fact, you already had the school record at 20. Now you're at 21. And you talk about being unselfish, getting other guys involved, and that helps the team overall. Scoring goals is great. I remember that feeling. It's like the best feeling in the world. But for you, when you set somebody else up and they put it in the back of the net, you got 21 assists. What's that feeling like for you?
I honestly think it's the same feeling. I kind of look at it as just helping the team, scoring a goal or giving an assist or just giving that build up during the goal. I think it all has the same, importance. I think all we care about is the result, and I just try to give it my all and, help the team however I can, whether it's scoring goals, assisting, passing, running, whatever it is.
Now, Danny, you've got one of the best coaches in the area, Kevin Watson, who's done such a fantastic job at Arlington. What do you think makes him an effective coach that, brings out the best in his players like yourself?
It's definitely his love for the game. I think it's very hard to find someone like him. I think he implements his character. He implements his character into, training, the preparation. I think he's had a good relationship with the kids here at Arlington, and it definitely helps us. And his character is also phenomenal. I think it helps us both on and off the field. It just helps us think better. It prepares us mentally. We just set the standard with his presence there.
Well, Danny, you guys are currently ranked number 4 in the Division III CIF Southern Section poll that comes out each and every week. Do you guys put much stock in that? Do you keep an eye on it? Do you want to see where you guys are at, or really does it just matter where you're at the end of the season and hopefully holding a CIF Southern Section championship?
No, well, at Arlington, we like to take one game at a time. We don't really like looking at other teams, because at the end of the day, it really just matters where we end up, one game at a time. So that's just how we look at it.
And Danny, I heard your grades are pretty good. What's your GPA at right now?
It's actually a 3.8. It's always been pretty consistent, whether it's 3.8 or 4.0, but I try to keep it up there.
See, you know what? And I know Coach Watson probably appreciates that because you're one of the guys he doesn't have to worry about, right? You're always going to be eligible. The grades are always going to be good. And when colleges come around, he can proudly say, oh, yeah, Danny, he's a 3.8 or he's almost a 4.0. And I'm sure colleges are coming around. And how important is it if you've got a younger soccer player watching this show right now, like a youth player thinking, oh, I want to go play in college someday. How important do you think it is to not only get it done on the pitch, which you are, but you've also got to have the grades. You got to get it done in the classroom.
Yeah, no. It's definitely, I personally think it's a lot more of in the classroom. Colleges really look at, how you're doing in school. It's not just everything on the field. Definitely, I think you should really focus on school. Make sure you have good grades. It's soccer is only half of how can I say the success. You need to have good grades and everything will come along with that.
Yeah, and as a high school player right now, you're probably, your life is probably split in two. You got your school stuff and you got your soccer stuff, right? And you're trying to excel in both sides. Danny, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the time. I'm making a note right now. 21 assists and 12 goals. So my stats were a little bit off. But again, 21 assists, a new school record, and I know you'll be adding to that number because we still have quite a bit of soccer to go. Because I know you guys are going to be making a deep playoff run. So, Danny, thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. And best of luck the rest of River Valley League action and then going into the D3 playoffs, man.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You got it. That's Danny Hernandez from the Arlington Lions. Join us here live on the Inland Sports Show. Time now to take another quick break. When we come back, we've got Baltimore Orioles pitcher Tyler Wells from Yucaipa High School and Cal State San Bernardino joining us live.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40. Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here. Make sure you check out Pep, man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep, man. You guys rock.
What up, y'all? Boostman here. Gonna break you off with a quick 2-cent. Parents, here are 3 reasons why you need to enroll your athlete into a strength conditioning program as the new year approaches. 1, to relieve them of all the repetitive motions of their sport. 2, to become bigger, stronger, and faster and a better overall athlete. And 3, to develop a relentless work ethic.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. Customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
On the shot clock, out to Ty Rowell. Rowell drives inside, steps back, fadeaway jumpers up and good for Ty Rowell. Knocks down the big jumper here, and it gives CBU the 72-70 lead. Big time bucket by Ty Rowell.
So that was a big win for California Baptist against Utah Valley, but then on Monday night they lost in overtime against Seattle University, a game the Lancers probably should have won. Now they go on the road to Texas to take on Tarleton State and Abilene Christian. All right, from hoops now to baseball. The baseball season right around the corner. Hopefully, fingers crossed for our big leaguers. A local Major League Baseball guy who has always stayed connected to the IE, and we appreciate that. The great Tyler Wells, Yucaipa High School, Cal State San Bernardino product, joining us live on the Inland Sports Show. Tyler, first off, I got to say, thank you for always making time for me for the Inland Sports Show. You are always so accommodating, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ever since you were following me at Cal State San Bernardino, obviously getting the opportunity to speak with you there, and obviously you guys following me throughout my career. I mean, it's the least I could do.
Well, Tyler, what's crazy is that the last time I interviewed you, you had just joined the Baltimore Orioles, and you were on the 40-man roster. You were all fired up, to go to big league camp and try to get a spot on the Major League roster. Not only did you do that, man, you had a fantastic season for the Baltimore Orioles. How would you gauge your first full big league season? Like, were you happy with it? Do you feel like there's still a lot of room to grow? How would you kind of recap your first season in the bigs?
I would say it's a little bit of both for sure. I would definitely say that I was very happy with it, obviously. I mean, that's a huge, huge leap from AA to the big leagues. And, I wasn't quite sure what to expect whenever I got there. But, I definitely think that there is a lot of room to grow. I definitely think that there's a lot of things left to learn. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of these guys like a Scherzer have a 10-year big league career, and they're always just a student of the game. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of room to improve. But then again, I'm very happy and proud of my accomplishments this year. But you just got to keep your head down, keep moving forward, and keep working, and hopefully, next season turns out better.
Well, Tyler, you pitched in 44 different games. Were you surprised about how much action you got? Like you were in a ton of games.
Well, it's funny because I made my debut at Fenway Park, which was incredible. Then 2 days later, I'm pitching at Yankee Stadium, and then I don't think I pitched for 2 weeks after that. And then, so I was kind of just sitting around, and, I was eager to get into the games. And, during that time, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. And then we were just kind of waiting to kind of get me into games, kind of more of like blowouts, and trying to get my feet wet still. And, I was always like riled up, ready to go. I was like, throw me in the biggest spot you got. I don't care. But it was certainly a learning experience because, eventually, and I'm very, very happy with the way that it turned out because, there were some ups, there were some downs. And, there was certainly a revelation after I went to Minnesota, and I didn't do so hot there that night. And I just realized that I kind of had to change my mentality and realize, it's like, these are major league guys. I can't blow it by them all the time. Like, I'm going to have to actually be smart about this, and I'm going to have to kind of just change my mentality. And once I changed my mentality, that's kind of when everything started to skyrocket for me, and just kind of, understanding more about myself as a pitcher, just understanding, what I need to do to get guys out. And whenever that happened, my innings and my appearances started to become more frequent. And, by the end of the year, it was a lot because I felt like a true reliever, and I felt like I was truly earning my spot. And you know what, being a starter, kind of transitioning into that reliever role, it was certainly different, but it was truly incredible and an experience that you'll just never forget.
Tyler, you just segued perfectly into the next question I was going to ask you because, being a dominant starting pitcher, whether it was high school or college, now you get to the big leagues and they're saying, okay, you're a bullpen guy. You have to be ready on, every single night. You just have to be ready to go in. And like you said, you pitch at Fenway, you pitch at Yankee Stadium, and then for 2 weeks, it's just kind of quiet. You just got to wait for your next turn. You talked about mentality. What was that, changing your mentality like to be able to just be ready at a moment's notice that you might be, running out to the mound and probably in a jam too, probably not in an easy spot.
Yeah, I guess one of my favorite analogies, or not really an analogy, but one of my favorite go-tos whenever I describe this is with Kevin Costner in For the Love of the Game. And how he always says, what was it, flip the mechanism or switch the mechanism, something like that. It's kind of like that. You pay attention to the game, you're trying to stay loose, but as soon as that phone rings for anybody, it doesn't matter if you know that you're down. It doesn't mean if you know that you're not throwing that day because you've thrown, 3 days in a row or something, even then, your adrenaline rushes and you're just oh man, gotta go, gotta be ready. And it's just it's one of those things where it's it's an adrenaline rush for sure. Every time that phone rings, it doesn't matter whether you're available or not. So, you quickly get accustomed to it because then you start to, pay attention to other guys that were with us. I had a couple guys, another local, I don't know if you would consider him IE or not, but Adam Plutko, he was with us. And, he showed me the ropes in a lot of ways and kind of helped me develop my routine and kind of just helping me learn when I needed to be ready. Wade LeBlanc was also another big one, and Sean Armstrong. Like, all these guys kind of, taught me the ropes in the aspect of, like, when to be ready, kind of understanding where my situation is at. Like, when, obviously early in the year, whenever I'm still getting my feet wet and I'm still trying to gain the trust of the manager, I know I'm going to be in a blowout. So if things start to go south, like, I know that I need to pay attention to that. I know I need to get ready. And obviously, like, our bullpen coach too helped me out with a lot of that stuff too, so forever grateful for those guys. I mean, they really, took me under their wing, and, again, I'll keep saying it. It's something I'll never forget.
Well, Tyler, you're a big leaguer just like everybody else across Major League Baseball, but I'd imagine there had to have been a moment or two when you're on the bump and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm pitching to Shohei Ohtani, or I'm pitching to Aaron Judge. I don't know, somebody like that. Was there a moment where there was a specific batter you're like, wow, I'm in the big leagues. Like, I'm a big league pitcher and that's a big league hitter, and we're going to go at it right now. Like, was there a moment or a specific batter that you remember facing one-on-one?
I want to say the first guy that I faced in the big leagues was Marwin Gonzalez. And it was, like I said, I made my debut at Fenway Park. And so I'm warming up in the bullpen. Well, we got these guys and they're drinking. They had a little too much to drink, but we had been talking with them and messing with them the entire game. And, they start, like, chanting my name, and I'm getting insults like, oh, like, you should be on the Gonzaga basketball team. Like, why are you even here? Because this was during March Madness. And then it was like, people telling me I should be a defensive lineman for the New England Patriots and stuff like that. And I'm like, are these supposed to be insults? But my favorite one, and kind of like how I got a nickname on the team, was one of the guys was sitting there and they screamed like, hey, Wells, you're going to star in Space Jam 3. And then one of the guys like, yeah, for the Monstars. And then, so I got the nickname Monstar from that. And so, I'm running out I'm getting my name called and I'm running in, and all of a sudden, like, I got the entire right field line, that corner, at least by the bullpen, they were chanting my name. And I'm not exactly sure if it was a good thing or if they were just trying to get into my head or not. But, I'm running out to the mound and I lose feeling in my feet. And I'm just like, oh man. The best way to describe it is like, it's an adrenaline rush from hell. Like, you just don't know what to do. And so, we're sitting there and I'm like getting on the mound and I'm throwing. I was like, this is really hard when you can't feel your feet. Like, then Marwin Gonzalez steps into the box and you're just like, oh, this is real. I was like, this got real fast. But, I had a few of those, this year, like, there was so many that were actually really cool. And, I think pitching in Angel Stadium was kind of another one of those things. Whenever my entire family was there, I had done really well that day. And, I hit my chest and I pointed up to my family, who was sitting right above the dugout on, I think, the third deck, like right on the railing. And, my dad came up to me after the game, and, he was crying. And, my younger brother, Ryan, and, he's 2 years younger than me. He's been with me through all of this stuff too. And he was crying, and it was just like, one of those things where, we've been going to, Angel games for as long as I can remember, since I was little. Whenever we would visit California and we'd go out there, we'd go to an Angel game. One of the first Major League Baseball game I ever went to was at Kansas City, playing the Angels. You sit there and you got chills now just thinking about it, but it's like, it's crazy how you sit there and you admire these things for so long, and then you finally get to go do it. And it's just like, whoa, like that really happened. But when you're in the moment like that, when you're actually out there on the mound, you aren't thinking about any of that until afterwards. Unless you have a bad outing, of course.
Then you want to forget about it. But, hey, you pitched 57 innings pitched with 65 strikeouts, so that's more than a strikeout per inning, which is a great stat. But you also had a couple wins from out of the bullpen as well. Where was your first Major League Baseball win, and what do you remember about it mostly?
This one's actually really funny because my first Major League win came against the Minnesota Twins, who originally drafted me in 2016. And it was really funny because the last out of that outing was against one of my best friends, Alex Kirilloff. And, it was crazy because, me and him came up through the system together. We were roommates our first, when we first got drafted at Elizabethton. And, so it's crazy to think about because a lot of those guys I came up with, the first base coach was my manager in low A and double A. One of my other roommates in Elizabethton was also, he was also there. And so we all got a picture together. And I mean, it was one of those things where, and that was also the day, like I said, that my mentality changed and I just became it just finally clicked for me. So it was one of the coolest days of my life just because it was wow, that's such a coincidence.
To bring it back to Minnesota and get a win against the Twins. And Tyler, let's wrap it up with this. I mean, I know there's no baseball right now, but guys are locked out, but are we going to see baseball? And what are you doing in the meantime? I'm sure you're probably working out on your own and just being ready for when you guys get that green light, you can just, hit the ground running.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's still negotiations going on. It's the best way to say it is it's complicated. About as much as I do at this point. Yeah, I mean, as far as training goes, I mean, I train, almost every day. We've been throwing bullpens. I have some teammates of mine from the Orioles that are down here. And, so we've all been kind of working out together and, we're obviously prepared for whenever spring training starts. But as far as the meantime too, I got a new puppy, and so, been dealing with him, trying to train him, golfing, just trying to keep myself busy in the meantime. So, but it's been good, and I couldn't ask for much better.
Man, you've got a new puppy, you've got a girlfriend, you're a Major League Baseball pitcher, you're in Florida, man. You are living the life right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's been a lot of blessings my way this year, and I'm certainly not taking them for granted, and I'm enjoying every single second of it.
Well, Tyler, listen, I really appreciate the time. Thank you for always, carving out a couple minutes to join us. I really do appreciate it and can't wait to see you back on the mound this upcoming season.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you can make it out to Anaheim, and we'll see you out there.
Why not, man? I'd love to come out there and see you at the Big A. So thank you, Tyler. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. That's Tyler Wells from Yucaipa High School, CSUSB, now with the Baltimore Orioles. We'll take a quick break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, Tyreque Jones. He will not enter the NFL draft. He's going back to Boise State for one more football season. That's next here on the Inland Sports Show.
We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for. #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods. Because remember, last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers broke NFL, tradition that a home team in the home city has never hosted a Super Bowl game. Like Tampa Bay was the host city for the Super Bowl, but the home team has never played in that Super Bowl game. Tampa Bay was the first to do it and win it. And this year, being in Los Angeles, could the Rams continue a new tradition of the host city having a home team win the Super Bowl? It starts tonight for the Rams. Yeah, and you know what's weird is, I'm not necessarily a Raiders fan or a Chargers fan. The Niners are my team, but I find myself rooting against the Chiefs a lot. Like, I kind of wanted to see the Steelers to give them a game. I don't know what it is. And my wife even asked me, she's like, you hate this Chiefs, huh? And I'm like, no, I don't think I do, but I always find myself rooting against them. Like, I don't want to see them win for some reason.
Make no mistake, I'm a 49er fan. Go Niners this weekend on the road at Green Bay. You can check me out on KCAL 96.7 FM with Patrick and 40. If you're watching us live and amplified tomorrow morning, we will be on at about 9:30 a.m. That's 96.7 FM, KCAL rocks. All right, so as we get a little bit closer to the NFL draft, and I know we still got to get through the NFL playoffs first and the Super Bowl, of course, but the NFL draft will be coming up this spring. One of our local guys, Tyreque Jones, Kaiser High School, San Gorgonio High School product. He's at Boise State University, made a big announcement. He is not entering the NFL draft. He's going back to Boise State. He wants to cement his legacy as one of the all-time greats at Boise State, and he's doing just that. The NFL is definitely in his future, but not quite yet for Tyreque Jones. Check it out.
I would have never thought that I'd be where I'm at now. You keep bringing up like the NFL talks. Like I remember thinking back into high school, like that wasn't even like a dream that I had set out to go achieve. Like it wasn't even something that I was like, oh, I gotta, make it to the league. And that's just like, it was never my dream. My dream was to go to college. Like, it was to do something different in my family, because my family is a big, service, I would say, type of family where they go into, whatever branch it may be, the Marines, the military, Air Force, whatnot. Like that's just how my family is. And I just wanted to be something different. Like I didn't want to go into that stuff. Funny story with that too. My youngest brother, he just, went to the Marines a couple months ago and he graduates on the 21st. So like that just goes to show that my family just all across the board. My pops did a little bit of it. My grandpa did some of it. I have cousins that are, on the reserve or they're active in it right now. I just have a lot of people in my family who took that route, and I'm like one of the only ones that actually took this route. So, like I said, just thinking back to that time, like, and just seeing what I've been blessed with, over the course of the years and the opportunities that I have set in front of me. I just want to say I'm grateful,
And Tyreque, so you're coming back for an extra season at Boise State, and it looks like, I would say on paper, you've got some guys coming back. This could be a really good Boise State team next year. Are you excited about the prospects of what next year might look like for the Broncos in terms of you guys could be really good?
Yeah, I mean, all said and done, regardless of what we look like on paper, we still have to put in the work and we still have to compete. I mean, last year we felt like we had a pretty good team on paper, and a lot of things didn't go our way. So I try not to look into that, as far as the aspect of we got guys coming back, team looks good. Because like I said, it was the same thing last year. We only lost a couple guys. Majority of the team came back. And like I said, it just didn't go in our favor.
Tyreque Jones going back to Boise State. You can check out the entire interview airing right now on IEMG TV3 and the IE Media Group YouTube channel. All right, before we wrap things up, let's check out a couple more things real quick. The big boost play of the week, and this was kind of a wild goal, so follow me for a second. Cajon versus Redlands East Valley. Cajon thought they had a corner kick. It actually wasn't. The ball was going to be placed around midfield, and Antonio Sanchez for the Cowboys, he's going to let it rip. Watch, there it goes. And over the keeper and in. That turned in to be the eventual game winner. Cowboys win 2-1 against Redlands East Valley in a crucial Citrus Belt League match. Antonio Sanchez delivering the big boost play of the week. A heads-up play by a defender. Love it when a defender scores a big-time goal. That one coming for the Cowboys. At least one Cowboys team is winning. Was that appropriate for all you Dallas Cowboys fans out there? Anyways, and we also have our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week. It was actually a tie. So King Wolves and Santiago, they are doing battle. In fact, if you're watching this live and amplified, they're going to kick off in just a couple of minutes. I knew that already, but our guy Dennis Pope, a local soccer reporter, he's at the game. He tweeted at me, and they're getting set to kick off. Santiago, your number one ranked team in Division I. And of course, King won a D3 CIF title this past season. So it should be a good one between King and the Santiago Sharks. And our other game, you saw it on social media at least, Riverside Poly and the Rancho Verde hooking up in boys basketball. That's coming up on Friday night. And it's a big stretch for the Riverside Poly Bears. Rancho Verde, and then on Monday they're going to take on Mighty Centennial. So a big stretch for Yancey Dodson and the Riverside Poly Bears. All right, that was our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. Big shout out to our guests tonight. Linfield Christian boys basketball. We had head coach Waheed Mitchell, Damian Ruiz, the sharpshooter, breaking school records. Danny Hernandez, also breaking school records for the Arlington boys soccer team. You saw Tyler Wells, Baltimore Orioles pitcher, and Tyreque Jones of Boise State football. Biggest shout out of all, Johnny Nunez, our director here at Team Vision TV 16. We appreciate his hard work each and every week. One quick programming note, I believe next week we will not be in studio. It'll be a home edition of the Inland Sports Show because of the California Baptist University men's basketball schedule. They have a Wednesday night game next week. Until then, though, stay safe out there, please. God bless you. My name is Pep Fernandez, and we'll do it all over again on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show, next week. See you then.